Yo, what's up, guys? I'm in Rhymes right now, and I want to talk about Joan of Arc because, you know, we all played this game, or most of us played this game because we like history, because you got like Julius Caesar or Alexander the Great, and we love those commanders. But I want to actually start a series right now and visiting the places that these commanders were, significant in, maybe born or maybe died in. And that's why I'm in Rhymes right now, and I'll show you guys the cathedral. If I can open the window here. Look at that, the cathedral. I'll tell you all about it, why it's important. But for now, I just want to start a series. I want to start a series traveling to places that were important then for the commanders, and Rhymes is one of them for Joan of Arc. And we all know Joan of Arc in the game, of course. She's a support. She doesn't get used that much anymore, but why is she important? Why is she a commander in the game? What did she do? And that's what I'm going to be telling you guys about today, plus a little bit of a guide on the commander itself. So I hope you guys enjoy and keep watching. Alright, so let's talk about why Joan of Arc is in Rise of Kingdoms. Why is Joan of Arc a historic figure? What made her so important? And let's start with the beginnings, of course. Joan of Arc, she was born a peasant girl in France during the 100-Year War. She was born in 1412, and that's almost near the end of the 100-Year War. It was already going on for a while, and she is not like the typical commanders, to be honest. She's not a Alexander the Great. She's not a Genghis Khan, and that's because she is not really a military person, to begin with at least. From a early age, Joan would say that she heard the voice of God basically giving her a mission, and that mission was to save France. And by the time that Joan of Arc's story really begins, France is already losing the 100-Year War. Its morale is at an all-time low, and the English control a large part of the country. Many people already thought that France would be, done. It's finished. But Joan doesn't arrive with, a grand strategy or military training. What she brings is belief, and belief can be very powerful. She believes France can still win, and somehow she convinces everybody else that France can still win. Everybody believes her. And Orleans is one of the KVK stories. We have a KVK story in Rise of Kingdoms, the Siege of Orleans. And Orleans itself is actually one of the last big cities still holding out against the English. And if that fell, then, that would be a straight road going through the center of France for the English to take, and the war would be effectively over. And then when Joan arrives in 1429 at the Siege of Orleans, she's not treated as a commander first, because many people, they doubted her. She was only 17 at that point. She's very young, she's a woman, and she has no military background. So you can see how that can be very bad against her. But once she's with the army, something changes. Joan does not stay behind the lines. She goes with the soldiers. She carries her banner into battle. Maybe you've seen the picture of her standing with her banner proudly at Orleans, and she talks directly to the troops. Not as a general, but as someone who truly believes they can win. That is a true morale boost. And at the Siege of Orleans doesn't end because Joan outsmarts the enemy, it ends because the French army stops believing they are already defeated. Have you ever had a KVK where you think, guys, it's over, we're gonna lose, alright? And then still somebody says, let's just give it one more try, guys, and you win. You start pushing the enemy back, and you eventually win. That's what happened there. Joan gave the momentum and the confidence for them to fight and win. So that's a very big moment in the 100-Year War. It gave the it gave the French basically a way to come back from their massive losses and start winning the battles. And then within days, the siege was lifted. So that's why we call it the Siege of Orleans. And against all expectations, the France won. And after Joan basically helped them break the siege, she insists the army escorts Charles VII, the uncrowned king at that point, to Rheims, it's the place where we are right now, Rheims. And Rheims is at that point in very deep contested territory, and it's going to be very dangerous to get there. But Joan said we have to get there, and at very end there, she crowned Charles the king of France, in the Reims Cathedral that you see the footage of right now. And that was also to bring, you know, legitimacy back to France. They have a crowned king, and that's basically the story of Joan. She emboldened people again to fight for their country. She helped break the siege, and then she crowned a king. And she was only 17. Can you believe it? 17. It's crazy. She's just basically a kid still. And then her story doesn't end with a victory, sadly. When she was 19 years old, she got captured and she got put on basically a political trial, and she got burned at the stake for nobody knows why. So sadly, she did not live very long. But a couple of years after, I should say, probably a couple hundred years after, she finally got canonized by the church to be a true saint, because honestly, she was. Alright, so now that we know the history of Joan of Arc and why she's actually a commander in the game, we can actually take a look at the commander herself. And it makes sense if you look at the buffs that Joan gives and the skills that she does. It makes sense. It makes sense why she's been given these skills. Like here, infantry units gain 30% health, 30% defense, 30% attack, extra rage. It's all buffs for other troops. So history-wise, these skills actually do make sense. Now about pairings, I actually had to ask the Cav Discord, because I do have Joan Prime, and I run her with Nevsky, but that is not really a meta pick anymore, I would say. And maybe is this not like yeah, commander strategies? That's what I was looking for. Yeah, that's what they were saying as well to me. Huo with Joan, it's okay. You're gonna trade 1-to-1 or a little bit negative, so it's not that recommended. At least, you know, not in Season of Conquest. The Joan Prime, better not to invest anymore unless you already have her. Then it's fine. But for a new investment, probably not. For early game though, if you're playing Season 2 or Season 1, Season 2, Season 3 maybe, Joan of Arc is actually a really good support unit. So extra rage per second, really good. Extra health, extra defense, extra attack, also really good. Healing factor does not matter that much, but 25% more normal damage is actually really nice to have. And the expertise just makes the first skill a little bit better, a little bit more rage, I believe. And it's for up to 5 nearby allied troops. So this is actually pretty decent commander to run. You could pair her with maybe Aethel. Aethel would be a good pick, or basically any other little bit tanky / support commander for Season 1, Season 2. So for the rest, that's all I have to say about Joan of Arc. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what commander to check out next in real life. Maybe we can go visit places for Alexander the Great, or maybe for one of the newer commanders, maybe William Wallace. Go to Scotland, Garden of Scotland. Let me know, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you again next time.